Welcome back to our Rapid Storm implementation series. In this video, I'm going to go over how to set up your Dent Ops account and specifically how to create and configure your account for optimal storm response and your team's collaboration. These are some really critical steps for early on when you're setting up your storm, so it's going to prepare you for success in some future modules that we'll be getting into very soon. So without further ado, let's jump straight into how to set up your Dent Ops account and configure it properly. So first off, why does setup matter? Setup matters for operational speed. It's going to help you to respond to storms faster, and it's going to help you to even reorganize in the middle of a storm if you're currently dealing with a hailstorm and you're trying to figure out how to do things a little bit better. This setup is going to be really, really helpful for you as well. It's going to help you to also delegate better by defining some team roles very clearly and just create some more accountability across your team. And then this is going to help you to maximize the value that you get out of Dent Ops and any of our related solutions that we're going to talk about throughout this series and that you'll learn about just as we continue to grow and expand what all we offer at Dent Ops. So this will give you access to the features fully. It's going to save you time and it's going to increase your profitability. So first up, let's talk about creating your Dent Ops account. And I am going to walk you through some of these things, not necessarily creating your account, but some other steps later on. It's very, very easy to create a Dent Ops account, so you can even pause this video if you want to and go ahead and create an account. It's completely free. It does not cost anything. So you just go to the sign up page at dentops.com/sign up. You'll see a page that looks just like this. What you're going to do is just enter your basic information like you can see on this page. You're going to complete the onboarding steps and with your company details, your preferences, and any other information that's requested of you. And then your account is created. You're ready to use Dent Ops. It's really as simple as that. It takes about 5 minutes to create your free account. So like I said, you can either pause this video and go ahead and create a free account, or you can wait till the end of it. We do have action steps we'll remind you of. But what do you do after you create your free account? This is the configuration process that I was mentioning. So first up, you're going to go through your subprofiles. But what are subprofiles? Subprofiles are basically like separate locations within your main account, and they help you to organize different locations that you might service. For example, you might have literally additional locations, repair locations, different shop locations in the same city or even in different cities across the country if you're maybe a mobile operation that runs multiple storm sites. Maybe you service body shop accounts. You can add those body shop accounts as your subprofile. Or maybe you're even working on a dealership or you service a dealership. You can also add them as your subprofile. Each subprofile can have its own unique settings, permissions, and team members that you can add them to. So it's really critical that you set up subprofiles first and then you add team members afterwards, which we will go over as well. And some of the key benefits of your subprofiles is one, if you manage multiple storm sites at the same time, you can manage multiple storm events or locations simultaneously. So say you're in a city and you have 2 or 3 different locations that you do repairs out of. It gets hit with hail, you can have subprofiles for all 2 or 3 of those locations. Or if you're a mobile hail operation that sets up multiple catastrophe sites, you can even do this across multiple states if you want to. There's no limit to how many subprofiles you can have on your Dent Ops account. You can set different preferences per subprofile, so different levels of service, different permissions, so on and so forth. And then you can sort and segment all of your jobs by subprofile. So you can really segment down your entire account. So from a very high level, you could be looking at everything, or you can focus in on specific operations, specific locations, or subprofiles if you want. So it's just really critical this visual is really helpful just to help you to understand, okay, you have your main account, your main profile, and then underneath your main profile, you have as many subprofiles as you want, and they can be called whatever you want. So with that, let's talk about actually creating subprofiles. So to create the subprofiles, first I'm going to show you inside of the portal, and then we'll recap with these steps right here. So I'm here inside of my portal. I'm on one of the standard pages. Now, if you're on a desktop computer, you have a couple of options. You can either go over here to the side menu and click Profiles, and then it's going to take you to the Profiles page. But if you're on a mobile device, this works the same way as I'm about to show you. You can click Portal. There will be a little drop down, and you can click Profiles. and it's going to take you to a page that looks like this first. This is your main profile. It's like the master account information, the master business on this Dent Ops account. And then you have a little tab right here called sub profile. If I select that, we can see I have a few sub profiles that are in here already. You'll always have one main sub profile that belongs to the account, and then you'll have all of the sub profiles that you've added underneath it. From here, you can either click to edit your main sub profile. The assumption is you don't have any sub profiles added in right now because we're just going over this for the first time. Or if you want, you can click this new option and you can add a new sub profile. In here, I wouldn't worry too much about this. You've got translations, translation plus scrubs. We will be covering what's the difference between these different things in a future module. Typically, when people create a sub profile, they just want translation plus scrubs. Sometimes they want to be able to import CCC estimates. For now, I'm just going to select translation plus scrub. If you have any questions, contact us. We can help you walk through what's going to be best for this particular sub profile, but for now, I'm just going to select translation plus scrub. I can go in here and I can add sub profile name. So let's say that this is a body shop. I might call this, John Doe's Body Shop. I can add a logo for them if I wanted to. I can add their email address. So imagine all the information that you would typically see from this body shop, maybe on like an estimate that gets written for them on the header, or that would be displayed to a customer who's getting an estimate from this shop, or that's going through an intake form, so on and so forth. We're going to be covering a lot of these things. This is the information that you'd be adding in right here. So maybe John Doe's Body Shop, their main email that they like to use is johndoe@jdbody.com. You can just typically leave this be in terms of selecting a different email address, add in a phone number. I'm just going to plug in some dummy information for right now. We'll say, Main Street, somewhere, Colorado. Plug in a tax ID number for them if you know this information. You can add in a website if you want to. You can add in some labor rates. Let's just throw some random info in here. And a sales tax rate. You'll want to specify if labor is taxed and parts are taxed. And this is all information that your sub profile you'll either know, or the sub profile you're adding it to, if it's a body shop, dealership, whoever, is going to be able to fill this information in. If there's ever any questions, you can always get a hold of us at support@dentops.com or call us at 540-329-3368 and we'll be able to help you out. Let's just say both of these things are taxed. And then if we were processing insurance claims, if you wanted any information to be different, you could select accordingly. Read through these options that are right here and just choose what you think is going to be best for your business. Now it's telling me I'm missing something. It looks like it's just this address. Maybe it's because the address is not a real address. We'll just use the Dent Ops office address. Okay, now we can click add. And if I were to click add, it's going to add it right into our, as we could see, John Doe's Body Shop. It has now been added as a sub-profile. If I wanted to go in and edit this sub-profile or any of the other sub-profiles that we've got right here, I'd click edit, and I can make changes, change my preferences, go ahead. Always make sure that you save your changes. And you're good to go. So you've got your sub-profile created right here. Now we have a selection of sub-profiles. This is great. It's going to be very, very easy for us. So just to recap, you're going to click that profiles option inside of your portal. You're going to click the toggle over to sub-profile, and then you're going to either click new or click to edit an existing sub-profile. It's going to show you that edit sub-profile window. You'll add or update the information, set the preferences, business information, etc. And then always make sure to save your changes when you're finished adding in that sub-profile. That's it. Your sub-profile is good to go. We've knocked that out. We've set ourselves up for success in the future. Now, if you ever go to a different storm site location, for example, you would follow these same exact steps in setting up a sub-profile to make sure it's at the correct location with the right rates, including tax rate, preferences, so on and so forth. So, with that being said, let's talk about adding team members to your account. We'll start by explaining the different roles that are available to you within Dent Ops. The first one, if you created the Dent Ops account, The first role is the owner role. By default, if you created the account, you are the owner. You have unrestricted access to the entire Dent Ops account. You can add and edit the other roles, which are administrators, managers, and estimators. And if you want to, you can even transfer account ownership to an administrator that you added to the account. Now, this is valuable if, say, you're maybe a hail technician and you're going to work at an operation and you want them to use Dent Ops, or you want to help them to leverage these different solutions. Maybe you're going through this implementation with them and helping them. You can actually create the account on a shop's behalf and then add them in as an administrator and then transfer the ownership to that shop owner so that you can leave and go on to the next deal like most hail technicians do, just as an example. So that's the first role, is the owner. The second role is the administrator. The administrator basically has all of the same permissions as the owner, except they're not the owner. They can run the entire account. They have unrestricted access to the entire Dent Ops account. They can add and edit managers and estimators. However, they cannot add and edit other administrators on the account. Only managers and estimators, which guides us into the next role, which is the manager role. The manager can manage specific sub-profiles, right? So we just went over sub-profiles, and just to recap, sub-profiles are maybe different locations. So say you have, your PDR operation has multiple locations that you work out of, and you have a manager at one of those locations. That's basically what this role is designed around. Or if you're servicing body shops and you have somebody who's kind of your point man at that body shop who's running the body shop hail operation, you might add them as the manager for just that sub-profile. Now that manager is going to have access to our estimating software and the portal results only for those selected sub-profiles. So for estimates that are written inside of our estimating software, and for estimates or claims that we're processing through Dent Ops services, the manager has access to those things. We'll get into what all of that means later on, but just know that managers have access only to Dent Ops stuff for the sub-profiles that they have been added to. And then managers can also add and edit estimators for just their selected sub-profiles, right? Which leads us into estimators, the final role. So estimators can write estimates only for specific sub-profiles. They can access the Dent Ops estimating software for only their selected sub-profiles. They cannot add or edit any other roles on the account, so they just can't invite anybody to the account. You can move roles if you invite somebody as one role. You can change their role later on if you want to. And so let me show you what that kind of looks like in just a second here. So we have this recap. I'm going to go through actually doing team members real quick, and then we'll go in and we'll edit. So back to our page, our portal, you're going to click your little profile icon, and you're going to see a drop down here, and you're going to see this option that says team. So I'm just going to go ahead and select team. It's going to load up my team page, and we can see I don't have any team members in my account right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select new, and I can add in some information. So we added John Doe already. Let's say Jane Doe this time. We're going to invite Jane Doe, and it might be, Jane Doe at shop.com. And then I can select a role for Jane. Let's recap all this as I go through. If I add Jane as an administrator on the account, she's going to have full access to my Dent Ops account. Maybe that's really good if I have like an operations manager who I want to have full access to everything. I don't want to segment their access to anything. I can add her as an administrator. Or if maybe Jane is managing one of my PDR locations, or is managing a body shop that we're working with. Maybe Jane is a lead tech at that body shop, or a manager, or it's even the body shop themselves. I could add her as a manager. And I could go down and I could say, okay, Jane is the manager of John Doe's body shop. And I can just select that one. Or I can select multiple of them if Jane is going to manage multiple operations for me. So I'm just going to leave John Doe's body shop selected there for right now. Or if maybe Jane's not a manager, maybe Jane is a technician who's only writing estimates for me, or just an estimator. I just hired Jane to write estimates for me. I could add her as an estimator on the account. And again, I would select the sub-profiles that I want Jane to have access to write estimates for. If I select Jane for John Doe's Body Shop, Jane's only going to be able to write estimates for John Doe's Body Shop. If I select multiple sub-profiles here, Jane's going to have the ability to choose which sub-profile she's writing estimates for. We'll get into a lot of this stuff later on. It's just important context for you right now so you can start to think about, okay, who do I have on my team, or who's coming in to help me with this operation, and what kind of roles do I want to invite over to them. Another side note real quick is that, well, let me finish this first. So I can invite Jane as John Doe's Body Shop. I'm not going to do that right now, but if I clicked save, it would send an email notification to Jane. If Jane does not currently have a Dent Ops account, it'll prompt her to set a password. If she does already have a Dent Ops account, then she's going to be able to actually toggle back and forth between her existing Dent Ops account and this new account that she just got invited to. So I just cancel right there. Users can always toggle back and forth through this switch profile tab right here, and it would show up as another little tile in this option. So Jane, if I invited her, she already had a Dent Ops account. She would be able to switch back and forth between this ProDent PDR Solutions account that we're working out of right now and her original account that she has access to, and any other accounts who she's been invited to. Technicians might have 10 different Dent Ops accounts that they have access to or had access to because they worked at multiple different operations that were leveraging our different solutions and tools and resources and everything that we provide. Anyways, getting back on track here, just to recap what it looks like to invite team members, you're going to select your profile icon right there at the top of the page. You're going to click Team from that drop down. You'll click New, or you'll select an existing person on your team. You do have the ability to change, if it's an existing person, change what access they have and which sub-profiles they have access to. You'll enter the user settings such as their name, email, and your role preferences, what kind of role you want to give them, which sub-profiles you want to give them access to. And then make sure, as always, to save your changes. The user will receive an email notification whether you're inviting them for the first time or editing them, so they'll be aware, and you just need to tell them to check their email for that access, and they'll be able to either set their password or it'll just let them know that they have access to your Dent Ops account. So I know we covered a bunch of stuff in this video. It's all critical for getting set up right, getting your operation set up correctly for this hail operation, or reorganizing things for your current hailstorm that you're working in right now, just to set yourself up for success. So let's talk about next steps. If you didn't pause throughout this video and follow some of these steps as I went along, what I want you to do is go ahead and first create your Dent Ops account. If you haven't already, it's completely free, does not cost anything to create your account. Sign up at dentops.com/sign up and complete your onboarding steps. Then what I want you to do is add or review your sub-profiles. If you don't already have a Dent Ops account, you're going to add sub-profiles. If you do already have a Dent Ops account, review to make sure you have the profiles in there, and if not, create them. You're going to add any sub-profiles you need, again, for additional locations, your body shop accounts, dealerships, etc. However you want to use those sub-profiles, treat them like additional locations or accounts that you service. After that, you should go through and think about who do you have on your team that should have access to your Dent Ops account, to your profile and your portal. And then you should invite those team members with the preferred access levels so that you can easily start to delegate responsibilities to those team members as we continue to go through this series, or as you learn more about how to utilize Dent Ops solutions and other things that we recommend. And then after that, go ahead and continue on with implementation, continue on with the series. It gets really, really good from this point forward. This was the biggest kind of preparation setup stage at this point, so it may be a little bit boring for some people, but this is going to set you up for massive, massive success in your operation. Take a second to complete these steps, and we will see you in the next video in the series.